Go ahead.
Our mission, Helping Parents Heal, is a nonprofit organization dedicated to assisting parents whose children have passed. Through support and resources offered, we aspire to help individuals become shining light parents, meaning a shift from a state of emotional heaviness to one of hopefulness and greater peace of mind. HPH goes a step beyond other groups by allowing the open discussion of spiritual experiences and afterlife evidence in a non-dogmatic way. HPH affiliate groups welcome everyone regardless of religious or non-religious background and encourage open dialogue. Attendance at this meeting is voluntary. We hope the participants will learn from and share with each other. Discussions here are confidential and not designed to replace traditional therapy or spiritual counseling. Zoom meetings run by leadership are not confidential. These meetings typically feature guest presenters and are posted on YouTube so that affiliate members worldwide can watch and benefit. Neither type of HPH meeting is designed to replace traditional therapy or spiritual counseling. Helping Parents Heal offers a wide variety of speakers, allowing parents to learn about many possible ways to heal. This includes presenters covering progressive topics such as afterlife evidence and connecting with children who have passed. The views expressed by our guest speakers may or may not reflect the opinions of Helping Parents Heal leaders and members, so we ask that you take from their presentations whatever may benefit you personally. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you. And thank you, Lisa. I'm so happy that you're on here. I just want to say that Irene would be on here if she could. She's coming back from the hospital, but all is good. And we're just so thrilled. So we're very excited to have Jackie and Gordon as well. I'm going to go ahead and read Gordon's bio. He is pretty fascinating. And in case you haven't heard about him, he is a Scottish evidential medium. He is an international medium, public figure, and author. He is hailed by the UK's media as Britain's most accurate medium. There is no doubt that Gordon Smith is the real deal. And I think that all of you have seen this from everything that he's done with us. Gordon has been the subject of 7 years of testing at the Glasgow University by Emeritus Professor Archie Roy, head of the Scottish Society of Psychical research, whose finds were published in 3 scientific journals. Internationally recognized as one of the world's leading psychic mediums and spiritual teachers, Gordon is also the author of over 20 books that have sold over 1 million copies in many different languages. Gordon developed his outstanding natural ability under the tutelage of some of the most sought-after mediums, including the legendary Albert Best, who appropriately is widely known as one of the best mediums of the 20th century. Gordon's reputation of being accurate and authentic has meant that he is continuously, in demand, presenting as well as featuring in numerous television documentaries and shows about the paranormal for broadcasters such as BBC, ITV, Sky Living, and the Bio Channel. Developing his own self-awareness training programs has allowed Gordon to travel the world many times, demonstrating his mediumship and teaching international students. These teachings have been converted into highly successful online courses that attract thousands of students from around the globe who are attracted to his charismatic nature, which brings a sense of healing and restores balance in their lives. I just have to add charismatic nature, but also one of the kindest and most beautiful people you would ever meet. Along with Jackie, please join me in welcoming Gordon Smith. Welcome, Gordon.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you all. It's always a joy to work with the spirit world. And no matter what I do with the spirit, I cannot lose because I get the wonderful upliftment of having them close to me. And that is a sensational thing to experience on a regular basis. So I'm ever so grateful that I'm allowed to do what I do. No more so, I suppose, than for helping parents heal and helping fathers heal when I can also. And I just feel that working with you guys, any medium who can't work with you or get a message is not a medium, because the energy around you with your children is just stratospheric for mediums. I mean, mediums just live in this, bask in the energy of the joy that your children feel about getting this small window of opportunity to maybe pass a message or a sign. So I've actually been practicing as a medium for almost 40 years. So, I mean, I started when I was 2. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You laughed too quick there, Hannah. I didn't like the yeah. Anyway, but no, I've been doing this for almost 40 years, as I say. It's been something that's been apparent in my life since I was a little boy, where I saw things, experienced materializations of spirit people, and so on and so forth. And this kind of thing woke up in me when I was 7 years of age, when I probably almost nearly died myself. And I now reflect on that, going close to death, do you bring something special back? Many people who report near-death experiences often say when they come back from that they feel this sense of euphoria, but equally they know they can't die. And some of them even bring back gifts of second sight and different other practices of mediumship. So I suppose that was kind of the big thing. I I was probably destined to do this because I'm the seventh son of a seventh son, and there wasn't much contraception back then, guys. So there were more seventh sons back then. Now they're not. But because of that, people take note of it and think, what does that mean? Well, in kind of Celtic lore, to be the seventh son of a seventh son would make you a seer. You would have the gift of the sight, they would say. There's a whole story of my childhood that goes on through this, where I saw things, I knew things before they happened and stuff. And it was when I was practicing as a medium and I moved to the Highlands of Scotland, where I live now, to Argyll. And when I arrived here, I had a call from the Scottish newspaper saying, the Highland seer has died today. For the first time in God knows how many years, we have no Argyll seer. Do you want to comment on it? And I said, well, I'm actually in Argyll at the moment. I've moved there today. I'm moving all my furniture in just now. And they said, you don't happen to be the seventh son of a seventh son? I said, I am. So I actually I am the fill-in seer, so I'm where I'm supposed to be right now. And I love that. I really love that. But my publisher said, this is such a good thing on the back of your books. Can we use it? So everybody uses it. And I have no idea if it has any real bearing on who I am or what I do. The one thing I will say, what I do, guys, is I try my best to make people hopeful. And from hope comes faith. And from that faith, maybe happiness will grow. And I never come on to these things with a plan. I was just telling the ladies, I come on here and I say to Spirit, what do you want to do? Because I totally trust them. I totally trust them. And the first feeling I got was to talk about how people are affected by grief. Because working as a medium for the last 40 years, I've seen and experienced and felt the grief of so many people, hundreds of thousands of people actually over my time. And it was when I was quite young in this, maybe in my late 20s, I would imagine, where I first started to feel grief from people. So not from spirit, you don't feel anything from them. If a medium reports to you, your child is crying, no, they're not. That never happens. I don't get that idea. For me, what we feel is the pain of the person. And that's if you're a sensitive. So there are some mediums who just get information and it just comes. But if you have empathy, then you actually pick up on what the parents are feeling. And that happened to me in London in the Spiritualist Association, which I used to be a part of. And it was a man and wife who came in and their boy had been killed. I didn't know this. We were never privy to information as mediums. We just were put in a little room. People came in. You did your next reading. And this particular day, when the couple came in and sat down, I quite literally felt the hairs on my arms stand up. I was freezing cold. It was ice cold. And then I felt as though I was drowning in deep water. That's all I can tell you. Whoa, this isn't good, I thought. And every time I looked at the man, it was him. And he was filled with the deepest, coldest anger that I had ever experienced in my young life. And that really is what he was feeling. Now, I didn't know at that moment that somebody had took the life of his boy. I think anybody would feel anger, hatred, whatever towards somebody, and that's a natural response to something like that. But being a medium or a sensitive, I felt this. And I actually reached my hand out spontaneously, took the man's hand, and I said, I need to save you from drowning. And those were the words that came out of my mouth. I need to save you from drowning. I said, you're in deep water. And his wife looked at me, and all of a sudden I became their boy. For a moment, I talked as their son to his dad. Stop it, Dad. You are actually killing Mum. You're killing everybody. And I was furious with the man, not me, but this warmth, like a burst of fire came out of me, is all I can say. And then the boy told us who he was. I'm His actual name was Nate. And I never forget spirit people. It's really, really weird. That's all those years ago. But there you are, Nate. Well done. So that came through. The man jumped back and he let out a sob that I've never heard. It came from, whoa, the most primal part of any person. And he just let it go. And it was incredible. People in the next rooms were coming, what's going on? But I just held this man, and then his wife held him, and we just all sat, and then it, until it got over it, and I realized the importance of understanding where you are in your grief, or understanding how grief is affecting you. So for many of you guys, to lose your child is the absolute worst moment of grief. Each one of you will have different experiences of the elements. That gentleman was in anger. And he was in deep water. People think anger is part of the fire element. It's not. Anger is water. Anger's cold and it's deep and it lies at the depths of you. That's where it sits. And that's why it's hard to get rid of it. And it takes on many forms and fashions while you are held underwater, quite literally. That's what happens to so many people. They don't know why, but they just become this incredible tsunami waiting to happen. And if you look at that analogy of what anger is, it's a tsunami. It comes from the coldest depth within a person. So their boy, Nate, needed to fix his dad. From the spirit world, he could see that his mum was surviving and trying. And the dad just didn't know how to. He did what dads do best. And he just went, I want to kill this guy that killed my boy. And as a dad, that's what he felt was the response. And of course, his boy knew better and came through and in that moment released something from him. And it's like in the elements, when we work with the elements. So though I be a medium, biggest part of my training has been in Tibetan Buddhism, where I'm taught how to work with people's grief from the Buddhist perspective, as well as being a medium quite naturally. So when I feel an anger like that, I've got to work with the spirit to release it, to take the tsunami, if you like. I'm trained not to be affected by, no matter how strong an emotion is, boom, it can hit me. That's absolutely fine. I'll deal with it. But it's to get it moving. And the best thing there was fire. It was for me to actually talk sternly to that man and get him to react. And I did, or the spirit world did. We look at how we're affected by that. You look at some people, some of you will know what I'm going to say, where I've sat with people, and one poor lady whose boy took his own life. He was John, jumped off a bridge in Scotland. And when she came to see me, I felt a stone. She was rooted in earth, this woman. She couldn't move. And people brought her to me because she couldn't walk. She actually she had tried to bury herself in the earth, quite literally. She didn't want anything to help her. And again, she needed a shock. She quite literally needed a shock, and she got a shock when she came for the reading, and it shocked her, and it was like watching a stone break. Boom. The stone at the center of her just broke open. And I remember saying those words, and I wrote it down when I finished the reading. The stone has broken. And I knew it meant something deeper, and it does. But then that moment, the very fact, I said, to the door knocked on the 23rd of December, I said, two policemen were standing there and they told you John was dead. And she just sat back. I'd never met this woman. And this was the evidence that came pouring through to her. It shocked her so much that it made her cry. And she hadn't cried at all, not once, since her boy died. She just became part of the earth. Didn't want to move, didn't want to live, didn't even want to die, just didn't want to be. That was it. That's all the way she could explain it. And again, you realize some people just kind of merge with the earth element, and that's not good. The earth element's the most beautiful element when it's active and reactive and working and producing and creating and all this. But when it becomes stale, stagnant earth, it's heavy like rock. And the density is so wow. But once again, her boy, the spirit world, can break through any of these elements. Your children can bring you messages that will wow and lift you up through any crisis or grief or pain or sorrow, whatever you're going through at that time. They know the best medicine. And it's why I advise all of you is trust the spirit world, trust your kids to know when the moment is right, when the medium is right, that they can use. Sometimes if you go to mediums and say, why are they not talking to me? No, it's just not the moment, and that's not the medium for you. Nothing to do with the medium. Connection's just not going to work that day, and that's fine. So we don't blame or do anything. It's just, okay, they know exactly what they're doing. They really, really do. Some of the things I see people do, the passion they have after somebody's died to want to be with their kid. And that's the fire element within them. I should have, could have, would have done everything better. Why didn't I stop the death? Why didn't I do that? This is all fire when it's good in us is creative and wonderful. It brings warmth and light, but fire when it dies down actually makes us feel cold, but we start to become self-deprecating. So there's remedies to every single one of these things that I'm telling you. The fire element can be stoked by adding to it, by adding passion back into life, remembering the joys and the love and the reason why you're so sad. And it comes back to that great quote that Queen Elizabeth said that I use every time I can, because it's true. Grief is the price you pay for love. And that, my friends, is really true. That pain that's in you is the cost of true love, the love that you felt. And therefore, if it doesn't hurt, you didn't love. And you guys all have all felt that, so you know it's true. But we learn to work with these different elements of grief, whether it be the cold, hate, anger thing. If you're there, you've got to do something passionate and fiery to get yourself going again. That's really what we have to do. Like right now, I'm working with a family who have lost their boy, and the dad is going through this terrible thing in his mind. He can't sleep. He just doesn't sleep. His head is on awake the whole time. So that's the air element. That's the element of air. Air is that inner voice that disturbs us. It's the same inner voice that can inspire us when it's at its height. But when grief and air are together, we actually feel stifled. It's like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. There's no air. And when that happens, we can't sleep. We can't do anything. The air element really is, oh, you've got to ground yourself when that one happens to you. That's when you've got to go and do physical things and get yourself tired, get yourself exhausted. And it's really incredible. I have little mantras for each of these that at some point I will share with you. But right now, oh, stop it. Yes, okay. Sorry, I've got to give a message. Gilbert is here. There's somebody called Gilbert. I don't know if you're a dad. He's an older man. Somebody can understand Gilbert here. But I want to be also by a great lake. Where's the lake? Bassey or something like that. Lake Bassey. Is there such a place? Okay, no, you're a grandfather. I've got a grandfather in the spirit world, and his name's Andrew. Why are you here? There's a reason he's here. Okay. Who are you bringing? Okay. Okay, he's with Austin. I want to be, okay. And he's shouting, Nan, Nan, Nan. I've got to talk here. So he just wants to come in and let you know, I am with you guys. I'm so happy. Gilbert Grape, you know that was a film? Somebody's using this as a joke here. I don't know why, but they're bringing this thing in. It would be nice if we can unmute you. Can you guys hear me?
Middle name.
Yeah. Middle name. But no, it's somebody else's name. It's not.
And it's grandpa's.
It's my grandpa's name.
Well, that's fine, because the old boy has brought him, I've got to say. I've got the old boy here with me. And there's actually a similarity in their mind, their attitude, their behavior character.
Yes.
But they come in here. The month of November has written up here in front of me to say that's an important month. Okay, yes, I'll tell them. But equally, oh God, ooh, right. Okay. Yes, he brings in this lovely joy around you both at the moment and saying, do you know what? You know, I've been there. You know, I've been there. And it was a birthday last month.
Yes, his
I
birthday
don't
was in
know.
November.
Okay, but I don't know if it was the 5th of November, but I'm seeing what we would call Guy Fawkes Night here in the UK, November 5th. So that's been put up here as well. There's several things happening in November. It's not just one. There's actually several because I've been with you the whole time. And it's to let you know, wow, do you know that this guy has got a brain, not a brain of mind, because I can remember things. Whoa. Do you know the number? I'll tell you what he's gave me here, a highway, and it's not Highway 51, and
Yeah.
I'm
Oh my
driving,
God.
That
whatever
goes
that
right to
means.
Minocqua to
The
Great
Great
Bass
Bass
Lake.
Lake.
Well, that's what he's just put there, highway number 51. And
my
and memories of being a child and being in the back of a truck and sleeping and falling asleep on that road. But we're going there. And then he's taking me to a place. There's a place called Jackson Street that I'm driving along as well. And okay. So he's showing me this. And where's that place? Now, I know that place. It's on a lake up from Chicago. I see Chicago, and then I come up north from Chicago,
Milwaukee.
and there I am here.
Wow.
And I need to get my states right here.
Oh.
So I think I'm Wisconsin.
Yes.
That would make sense to you. So I'm coming up here, and he's just showing me from above. He's watching all of these things here, and I love my brother. I've got a brother because I'm sending love to my brother. Oh, look at that lovely dog! And he just wants to come in and say, "Guys, I am with you all the time, and thanks for the card, Mum. You wrote something, and." Some words you put in a card after he died, because he said, thanks for the card, Mum. The words are so true. And he's talking about the value of tears. I don't know what that means, but the value of tears, it's so important. And I know it means something to you guys. And I just let him just keep downloading, because I should just not get in the way. And it's just to say, do you know, those two pictures you've got, and there's two pictures of him side by side somewhere. I think they're in a wallet, actually. These are not on display. These are in a wallet. That's where they are. And he said, and do you know the smiley one? That's what I look like right now. That's exactly what I look like now. And to Dad, I've got to give you my favorite number is 1111, and I've got to give it to you 1111 because that's my numbers. I'm a 4, so a psychic told me that recently, or a year ago or whatever. But that's for you. And also, I've got to tell you here, right? What are you doing? Okay, I am now. Okay, I'm going to be at the World Cup, but it's not American football. It's British football, it's soccer. He's showing me soccer, World Cup or something like this, and laughing. Lots of joy, lots of laughter. Oh my God, every day is like, wow, my mind can just grow. I can know everything here. This is amazing. It's almost like I don't even need to try. I just know. And that's amazing. His mind is just so expanded right now. Wow, that's stunning. But I'll be there at Christmas. You guys are driving. I'll be there with you. I'm watching over you every time you do, wherever you're all going. I'm going to be there with all of you. Where is that you're taking me now? All right. All right. Okay. Right. I want to go to a hot place though. I'm in a very hot place now. I'm not. I'm in Scotland. It's freezing here, but no, he takes me to a very warm place, and I can see hills and plateaus, and I can see mountains with not peaks but plateaus like that. And
Arizona.
well, that's what he's looking at here, and he's smiling, and it's as though I can be everywhere all at one time. I can be everywhere all at one time. What do you want to do that for? Right. Do you know he has an infectious laugh, this young man? He actually made other people laugh, but it's his kindness, I have to say. His generosity of spirit is second to none. He's absolutely brilliant. Now, I don't know why 51 has been written up here, but 51, 51. Remember that's been written, would you? It will mean something. Don't tax yourself. It does mean something, but just remember he said that. All right. Now, K. No, don't do that. I don't know if it's Ken, Kev. Short abbreviation of a name. Whether Kenny or
Kevin.
Kevin, I don't know. Kevin. Okay, Kev, he said it like that. So it was the shorter version. I just picked that one up. To tell you that I love you is an understatement. It's not enough, but I'm always with you, and that I have to tell you. And you know what? to my mum, I have to say, next week I don't know what you're doing. You're going to get a makeover or a hairdo or something like this. And he's laughing and he said, I was there when you booked it. So I ain't anywhere other than over your shoulder. And there's just a sweetness of him. Yes, all right, I'll tell her. Yes, there's 2 houses that you have, or you work between 2 houses, and there's something else changing for a house for somebody. There must have been a wedding. I don't know if it was his brother, but there's something it's saying, I never miss a thing. I won't miss a thing. There's a baby coming into the family as well. Do you know that? Good,
Yes,
because he knows
we
it as
just
well.
found out a couple
Well,
weeks
he
ago.
just knows as well. And again, this is just to tell you how alive I am. And I love this, that yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Contracts to Dad are going to be signed. This is a work thing. And it's all good. All is good. Yeah, all is good. And I see the little dog there, but there's a dog with him in the spirit world.
Yes.
He's got this dog. This is my dog I've got here. And I just have to tell you, all right. Now, you know the guy who was in Fathers was Ish.
Yes, Ish.
Can you pass a message to him? I don't know if he's on tonight. Is he on tonight? But all of a sudden, I have Austin saying, I have Ariel with me. That's lovely.
That's beautiful.
Please tell him. And okay, I don't know if it's Sabrina. I think it's Sabrina. It sounds like Sabrina, unless it's German, Sabina. But Sabrina
Yes.
or Sabina?
Yes.
Sabina.
I have to tell her. She's showing me here.
Sabina's here.
Is she here?
She's here.
Sabina's here.
Can we pass over to there, guys? Your boy is absolutely fine, and he's brought in a sweet girl with him, and she is the sweetest girl, I have to say. So I need to speak to her parents or one of them.
Thank you, Gordon.
Thank you, Gordon.
You're welcome, guys. And maybe that's why then that name came in rather than, because I'm thinking I know that he was here. All right.
Is he here? Then he can take it. But I want to say, you mentioned Guy Fawkes Day, November 5th. That's her birthday, my daughter's birthday.
Well,
you mentioned that at the beginning.
Well, the 2 kids were here together, so that's fine. And Austin brought Ariel.
Yeah. Oh, what's her name? Oh, yes.
But that's the thing. But do you know what? This is going to sound daft, but it's not daft. Sabina, it's not Sabrina. Sabina, isn't it? Yeah, because I heard the name, I wasn't sure. Sabina. Yeah. I have to tell you that tell her dad he will see her when she's ready. Okay, and she's a bit insistent about this. Do you know this young lady had a dry sense of humor, is the only way I could put it. There you are. She had it, and she's saying, yeah, and she's fun though, and she is fun, and I feel as though she wants to dance. It's some kind of I don't know. I'm not going to dance. Look, this isn't ghosting. I'm not Whoopi Goldberg, so I don't dance. Stop it. So here we go. She's dancing, and she just says, "Thank you for the music." To her dad, thank you to them for the music, and always for the music. You feel me when the music plays, and I'm there. You feel my presence. I have a unicorn to give to you. She just says, "There's a unicorn," and and she's laughing at this. Okay. She had a beautiful mind. Her mind could be in different worlds at the same time when she was here. And you know what? I've just to tell you both. She came in with Austin, and it's as though, he's basically like a big brother to her now on the other side. Oh. And she's having fun. And to let you know, and there's a young lady here in this world that she loves very, very much. It is a sister, and I love watching her, and where she's going through her life at the moment. And I don't know if there was a teaching thing, an education thing, but there's something that she's showing me here about her sister doing well. And considering what her sister felt after she passed to the other side, her sister's coming round and she's getting on with her life. She has to get on with her life. I'm not dead. And she's insistent in this. And she's got the greatest smile. and she's saying, look at me, and she's smiling broadly, as though it's important for you to know this. And it's not just about a smile, it's actually about her face here. Something had happened to her here. And she's actually showing me this is her. But she said, you will see me, Papa. You will see me. And when I'm ready, though, it's like, when I'm ready, and it will happen. I promise you. She also brings in here, where's that? You've got me here. Okay. Do you know what? Ish, have you been giving yourself a hard time about things you could have done better? Don't. No. That's not me. This is her. She's no. And she just wants to love you. And she says, it's easier to love you when you're smiling. Okay. And this is just her way of saying that it's easier to love you when you're smiling. And the month of July is important. My birthday's in July, but there's a connection to her in July that means something. And she's showing me here, and all right, I don't know if it's the 6th. My birthday's the 6th, but it's the 6th or the 16th that's important to her.
Oh my God.
So that would be important. So she's here, and she's just, and you know, she's showing me her hair's different. So she's got her hair very, very long, and she's showing me this because this is what she wanted to look like. She's happy to come through, and she's saying, oh, really? Okay. She likes me. She says, I like him. So thank you. But she's the sweetest, oh, really sweetest young lady. And do you know, oh, wow. She's saying to me, like, heaven's just like music. Heaven's like music. And she wouldn't have always had the best movement or use of her faculties. Would that make sense to say? But she's showing me, now look at me. I don't have a body. I can do anything. So she can do whatever she wants. Now, I don't know what that is. She's put up a very strange symbol in front of me here. It almost looks like Sanskrit. I can't really understand that, but it does look like, I don't know if it's not Indian by any means. I do understand some Sanskrit. It's not that, but it seems to be like an Asian term, and it's not Indian. I can assure you, it's definitely not. It's more like Chinese, but I
Korean?
can't read it. I don't know.
She knew Korean. She spoke
Well,
Korean.
then that would make sense to me, but it means nothing at all. But you know why, really, more than anything, she's coming? It's because now she says, I want to help my dad. She loves you, Sabina, and loves you both. But I just want to come and tell my dad I'm okay. And it's very matter of fact. So that's it. I'm okay. And again, I've got to mention a dog, because I've got to talk about the dog. There's an important connection with a dog. But just to tell you that, right. Oh, good. Right. Somebody fixing their passport at the moment, or they should be. Yeah, she knows about this. So get it done. And this again, these little snippets are just to say she's alive and she's watching this world from where she is. Oh my God, there's a birthday cake coming for somebody as well, because I'm seeing a birthday here, and she's showing this. Do you know that, again, I mentioned somebody having a baby in the last message, but there is new life coming into your family, because she's watching life coming in, and she said, and it's beautiful. You should see the way I see things now. You really should see the way I see things. Oh, my eyes have been opened, she says. My eyes have been opened. And I feel as though her grandmother is with her. There's a lovely lady coming in, and and it feels like your mother-ish, that she's there, and the spirit of grandmother, that she's holding her, and that they are happy together in the spirit world. Okay. Where are you taking me now? I don't know if I'm in Dallas, but I'm somewhere where there's flatlands, like Texas, somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere there, I don't know. I've only
You're
been
from
to Texas once. Well, I've only been there once, but I just saw the flatlands where it reminded me of being in Dallas many years ago. But actually, not for YouTube, but will you listen for California? Something to do with California is being mentioned to do in the family or whatever. Remember, it's been mentioned because she knows that I don't, so I'm just going to take her word for it. And I want to sing Disney songs to you now. A whole new world. All of this is going on, and she's just loving singing, and she's singing away to you here, and everything like that is just absolutely beautiful for her. See her the way she is. Okay, she's got a young man we're called. All right, who are you, son? All right, Zach. I've got Zach with me, so I've got to find Zach's parents. Will you just take her love? She had to come in,
Thank you.
and it seems to be they want to do this tonight. They're coming in a gang, and they're bringing others with them. So God bless, guys, and just know that she's there with you all through whatever's coming up. She is there. And there's a young, just to say, there's a young man called Zach just saying, "Hi, I'm here." Hi, Zach. And this young man would have passed very quickly to the spirit world. It was nothing, he wasn't ill, just a quick passing. And it feels very, yeah, very here one moment, gone the next, no warning, no anything. Can anybody understand who Zach is? All right. Bless you, my friends.
One person saying Jack question mark, but Zach
No,
so
no,
far.
no, no.
Okay.
Zach seems. Well, you remember it's been said, and I'll leave that then, because if nobody is, then I feel let's have some questions of that if we can do that. I'm just conscious of the time now that I'm not doing mediumship anymore, because now I'm actually back in my body. It's like, okay, where are we? What's happening?
Okay, you went a little bit off piste there.
Yeah, that wasn't planned at all. That's
No,
crazy stuff.
it was lovely. Okay, I'll pick out a few. The one that's been asked the most this evening, I think, is what is the best way for us to connect with our children, ourselves, or with spirit? How can we do that?
Well, I think one of the things is trying to train yourself just to relax. There's the first thing. A lot of people try to connect with children and have questions for them, or can I see you? You start throwing stuff out. So doing really short practices for 10 minutes of trying to do very little. If you think, bring your focus back to your breathing, short bursts of meditation. And just relaxing, because it's the lack of relaxation in us that causes us not to be able to feel the presence. See, spirit's always there, and it's us who can't reach them. It's not them who can't reach us, but we kind of bring ourselves into so earthy that we kind of forget how to feel this expansion, and that's where they are. We meet them with our mind, and if our mind is expanded and free. And that's hard to do when you've lost a child. It's hard to say, I'm going to relax. And I understand that. But it is a practice thing. And you have to slowly, slowly. Nobody tells you to meditate for a long time and be, open-minded. So do short terms, and you're training your mind to receive. And at some point, you'll feel the presence. That, for Sabina and Ish, was something your girl is very good at, letting you know she's in the room. And that's how we start it. We start to feel their presence. So if you've never been clairvoyant before, don't look for clairvoyance unless you go training to do it. A lot of people say, why can't I hear my daughter now? With the greatest of respect, I'll say, did you ever hear spirit before you lost your daughter? No. I'm not sure you will right away now, but you may find her in your inner voice when you can quieten your thoughts. So it's all about learning to relax the body, quieten the thoughts, and just put out one thought. If you're there, find a way to let me know. It's that simple. Don't make it difficult. It's really, really simple.
Okay, and another pertinent one, Gordon. Somebody's asking, how can we make the holidays feel joyous when we really don't feel like it?
Yeah, well, that is very difficult. And again, it depends on where you are. When you're feeling that kind of just rooted in the earth, it's nice to do. I have a little mantra that I wonder if Jackie could share. It's called the Tara mantra. And this is what, see, when you just feel, I just don't feel like anything. This one is for the air, it's for the mind. So it's not the body here, it's the mind that we're trying to actually enhance. And this has been recorded, so our lovely Elizabeth will be able to share this with anybody at some point. So Om Tari Turi Soha is how it would be said. You visualize either just the color of green in your mind, or if you can get a picture of the green Tara herself. So this is about your mind. Om Tari Turi Swaha, Om Tari Turi Swaha. And you just recite it. You don't need to do it as whatever. Just do it until it runs out and you visualize green or the green lady. And this is about overcoming fear, overcoming obstacles. It really is about, actually liberating your mind to come over any kind of obstacles that are holding you down. So Tara's in the air and she's green and she's flexible and she moves. So it's to get you moving again. It's to get your mind onto things rather than I can't be bothered or I just don't have it in me. This lifts your mind to a higher level. So doing the Tara prayer can help you. I don't know how many people in life I've given this to. Do you know, one time I was in Boston. Oh, Jackie, you've never heard this story. And I had a whole pack of these cards with me. They're like postcards, but they had green tarot on them. And I went for a walk in Boston. I was there working as a medium, so I'll go for lunch. I get on a train to come into the main place here, and there's a young lady crying on the train. And I said, excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt or anything. I said, but I don't know what your problems are. So she grabbed my arm and started telling me all her problems. My husband's in prison. I've lost this and lost that. And I said, look, here's this green lady. It doesn't mean anything. And I gave her it. And she started, what? And I wrote the prayer on the back. I said, I promise you, my love, see what you're going through. See the fear you have of not knowing? Start saying this when you're afraid. Just start saying it. Really? That was fine. The next, get off the train, there's a young man in the train station and he was just standing crying in a corner. And I said, are you okay? No. Went up. He said, my mother died and I just don't know who to talk to. I said, okay. And I'm going to give you this green lady. I was like a doctor prescribing things, writing out these things, these green lady things. And I was all over Boston. Everywhere I went, people came to me. It's like, and I just gave out green tarot to everybody. And my friend says, if this turns up on the news tonight, that there's a strange Scottish man giving away green ladies and prayers in the middle of the streets of Boston. But it was the most beautiful, rewarding things, because the green tarot prayer is to help us to activate. Remember, air is action. So when you're feeling that you cannot activate yourself mentally to do something, green tara, there's your medicine, and you're doing something about it. Om tari tu tari turi swaha. And that's that. So there you are. That was a long story just to say, yeah, you can do this. But there's usually meaning behind these stories. They all come from somewhere. They really do.
Another
What else we
question?
got to? Yes,
Yeah.
Jackie.
Okay. Jeff's asking, how can you find out more about your spirit guides and how they're here to help us?
Well, I suppose with spirit guides, then it's good to be part of a development group or a development circle where you have a teacher who will tune into the energy. And through that teacher, who usually is sensitive or a medium, they will pick up when guides and that sort of thing come close with nice spiritual energy. So they work on that level. Like my friend Sandra, who's been doing stuff with the Helping Fathers thing. I mean, Sandra's an excellent circle leader, and she does find out who your guides are. She may not tell you, because the idea is not to tell you. The idea is to let you actually open your mind stage by stage, so that you and the guide, it becomes a reality. So if, Jeff, I said to you that your guide was, a North American Indian medicine man. Suppose I said that and he was part of the Cherokee Indian tribe back in blah, 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 blah. So I've just told you that. And if you go, yeah, but I believe him, he's a medium. But in actual fact, you wouldn't believe me, because inside it wouldn't feel real when you get it yourself. And spirit can give you the evidence personally. It has a better quality. It's wow, that's amazing. My teacher told all of us, you never give people spirit guides. I'm really naughty. If I see a guide, I do tell people, which is why Sandra runs circles and I don't. So she's better at it than I am. She's more disciplined. I'm a naughty child, a naughty medium. I just give away everything. So, but yeah, connecting with your guide is a wonderful thing. It really is, because there's a sense that there's always, that's your eyes and ears in the spirit world. It's a place you can go within to talk, to feel, yeah, I'm not alone. I've got this incredible higher being that works for me. And when it comes to helping parents heal with spirit guides, there'll be a million questions that people will ask. If I have a spirit guide, then why did this happen? If my child had a spirit guide, why did bad things happen? There's all these questions that come up. But a guide doesn't live your life for you. A guide is quite literally somebody who is above, sees your life from a higher perspective. When you make contact with them, there are times when they can, with permission, affect your mind. they need your permission. And if they do happen to give you any solutions or answers or things, it's because they can. They're allowed to. But there are many things we are not allowed to see. And even as a medium, I'm not allowed to give. So therefore, I don't get it. And I say that to all of you because mediums don't actually have the answers to things. Okay? If spirit choose to give us an answer, that's their choice. But mediums themselves don't. I tell all of you this right now. I know that much. Very, very little. I have no knowledge. And the reason for that is knowledge is out there, not in my head. So when the spirit world want to give us something, they'll pass it through me. I don't create it. And therefore, when you connect with your guide, there'll be times you feel this wonderful feeling of connection. There'll be other times when you feel a separation, a distance, and that's absolutely fine. They're teaching us not to become too attached, too spiritually attached. That's what they're teaching us. But yeah, little group meditations, you know, sitting with other people, getting a good teacher, somebody who's absolutely trustworthy and comes highly recommended. That's absolutely fine for you. And it's also good to practice regularly sitting in the spiritual power with other people. Your kids can get really close to you when you do that. They really can. Good,
Okay.
Jackie. What else we got?
Yeah, I think there's a really important one here to answer, Gordon. Somebody's asking, if you were not on speaking terms when your loved one passed
Oh.
over, will you now be?
Well, I would say so. Yeah. That particular thing's going on right now with my own sister. Her boy has got a very advanced cancer and probably will pass. And he and his mum are not talking. And she's been left in this terrible dilemma, wanting to speak to her boy. His consciousness, when he does cross over, will immediately understand the whole thing. You get it. You understand the journey when you go over there. So yes, spirits are not resentful. Spirits don't have emotions the way we do. So they'll understand emotions now, where people don't. One of the things people do badly is actually work through emotions. They're usually looking for rights and wrongs and highs and lows and ups and downs. No. The spirit world already know the minute they go over. So I would say the answer to that question is yes, they will know once they go over there that it's futile not talking to people and things like that. So they would make an effort probably to come back and actually give that person a message that would maybe relieve them. Because when they see people suffering, the spirit want to come and help. They don't want to leave their family suffering. They want to come and reach out to say, we're okay. We need you to be okay now. That really is what they do. So, but that
Okay.
is an important question, Jackie. It really is.
Yeah, here's an interesting one. If somebody passes over when they're very young, are they more active in spirit than someone who passes over when they're much older?
No, age is only has a bearing in this world. Spirit or spirit, and wow, I mean, they just become these expanded, extended versions of themselves. It was a bit like feeling what the spirit feel when I feel them. I mean, they are. Oh, their mind is so out there. So they, you know, doesn't matter what age we are when we pass, our spirit, you know, will be back to that spiritual expansion. And I think the difference is the length of the journey you spend in this world. If you look at it the way I do, that this is the world of suffering. So and it's not a punishment to live a long life, I don't mean that, but some people choose to actually exercise a lot of karma in this life. That means a lot of actions. There are some people who come into this world and touch it and then go back. Their karmic, if you like, bank balance is full. So they don't need to take on more suffering or more experiences. They come and they touch the world and then they go home. And that's the way I look at it, it's home. So we're just visiting here. So the longer you're in this world, the more you have to, your learning's not complete. And it's like one woman, Jackie, to add to that question, said to me, when my baby died, was it because, you know, I didn't love her enough? And I said, no. I said, that child just had to touch the earth. It just had to manifest and then return. I said, and that was it, really. And you obviously had the experience of being a mum for such a short time, not even allowed to hold your child. I said, but the fact is, it made you a mum. You are a mum. You have a child in the spirit world. You're not a mum. And she said, oh, and I said, so remember that. You're not childless. Your child is in the spirit world, that mind connected with your mind. And that really is what happened. And you know, Jackie, this is a good point for me to say this, because if we look at the elements, a lot of people say to me, Gordon, when does our journey begin? Is it at birth? Is this when we start our journey in this world? And I said, no. To my understanding, it happens just before conception. Just before, where you imagine that we are the element of space. So we are in space, all of us, and space is in us. So we're part of that element. So that's where we are. That's where spirit are right now, and it's part of space. So the air element is what wakes us up. So when you think about this, the thoughts that people have, that urge that people have is the thought. You're drawn to that thought with these two people. That's who you're drawn to. So in that moment, your mind is awake. So your space, now you're a mind. That mind is awake. And that passion that follows is the fire element. You're drawn down because of that. Then the water element is the first stage you are of human being. And then from that, your first physical cell makes you a materialized being. You are now a manifestation of consciousness in human form. Death is the same thing. If it's a natural death, you will have physical death, earth death. That will then be fire and water, which is dehydration. They will combine. And then that goes back to air. The last element we are in this world is mind, air. And that mind rises back up to spirit again, back into space. So when you look at that cycle of life that we're all going through, it's all elemental. We're actually moving through the elements on this journey, as we're constantly moving through the elements. And when you see it like that, it's like, wow. And we suffer because we form attachment to things, places, people, whatever. So that's the suffering. Whenever the Buddha said to end suffering, he wasn't never talking about physical body, never. He was always only talking about our emotional state and our mind. And therefore, to heal suffering was not to want, to not crave, desire, all of these things. So that's the ending of suffering. Now, that lovely green Tara mantra that we gave you earlier, if ever you're feeling any form of emotion even, visualize that, because that's your mind. Remember, emotions will be born in the mind. They can start in thought. Thought then becomes more into the fire element, and the fire going down, and then into the water element, which becomes emotion. So when we get irritated or upset, don't let it become anger. Stop it before it becomes that. We take control of our emotions by, if you start to look at somebody and think, why did they get all that? Stop. Stop. Don't let that kind of irritated thought become jealousy. So we learn to control all these emotions so that we actually don't get pulled into them. So remember, grief is not one of those. Grief is not that. Grief's a sudden shock. Grief's a punch in the stomach. It's a different thing. But grief, if it gets multi-layered with all the different elements and emotions, can take you into a very deep place. And this is where our job is as mediums and light workers, whatever, is to try and pull people out of the emotional sea. We don't go in there with them. We try and raise them from it and get them functioning, action again. That green Tara, activated. It's all about action. And remember, that's what this whole thing is all about. Death stops people in their tracks, for those who are in this world. But to actually find a way to fight through it, and you all have. Whether some days you just feel like crap, but there's another breath you take, and then, do you know what? No. The new relationship you have with your children is part of heaven and earth. Not that they're there and you're here. You're both really part of that same space. And you just got to find a way to feel their space and let them feel your space. And the spirit world can do that. They really, really can. But guys, every experience you're having on this world right now is part of it. It really is. Remember, death is not the opposite of life. It's part of it. It really is a big part of it. Jackie, have we got another question?
We've got lots of things about evil spirits and protecting your energy, but I really would like to finish on a
Evil
nice
spirit.
question. If we can just tell everybody, if you've got questions to ask Gordon, we do a soul cast, and if you go to his website, you can actually offer a question.
Oh yeah.
If it becomes part of the soul cast, we'll let you know and we'll tell you in advance. But I'd really like to kind of finish with this one. Can we do anything here to help our children in the spirit world? What can we do to help them?
Yes, you can. And you can make yourself relaxed, and you can remember the joys and the loves. Bringing their happy memories back to your mind is a healing for you. I know for some people in the beginning that's, but if I think happy, I'm dishonoring the grief. No, 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 no. You're allowed. Remember what memories really are. They're jewels of the mind. So your mind is a jewelry box full of these, and it's okay to take them out and look at them, relive them, replay them, and remember why this pain is so deep, because the love was so rich. So it's okay, and they love to be talked about. Talk about them. And I know it may make you cry, and people do cry in the beginning when they do it, but there comes a point when you'll be able to laugh with them. And when they hear you laugh, they're laughing louder. I promise you that. That's the thing. When they hear that laughter, they laugh with you. One of my lovely friends down in London, when her boy was killed, and I told this story to some of the guys, I think, the last time, and she ended up going under her table when the police came to the house to tell her boy had died, and she went under the kitchen table and she just went into fetal position and couldn't move. She says, I don't think I ever went to the toilet for days. I didn't eat, I didn't end. I just became a stone. And there's how she lay, like that. And as she grew and learned things, as she got to be activated again and got back into living. Because remember, when we say there's life after death, it's actually not about the spirit world, it's about here. There's life after death, guys. Got to live beyond it. And the moment she did, and she met me, and it was somebody who gave her a video of me doing things, and she said, is that guy real? And she said, that's what got me up and out of the house to come and find you. And I did. And we became great friends. And I said, every night you laugh, I can hear Jamie laughing so loud on the other side. And I mean this. I am not making this up. Believe me, this is probably one of the greatest revelations that we will have in this living world, is that we can't die for the life of us, that our life force will go on. And therefore, make your kid happy by letting them see that you are working on improving yourself and remembering them and why you love them so much. Loving memories are precious jewels. They are the jewels of your mind. Don't be afraid to look at them. They won't wear away. They won't in any way disintegrate. They'll always be there because they're real and they happened. And that, my friends, is really what it's all about. Love is about expressing it as well. You know, we feel the lack of love when we lose somebody, but it's actually the time when, you know what, I have the right to say I loved you. I have the right to remember every tiny little morsel of that wonderful existence we had together. And they will be burning like a flame and a candle on the other side if you do that. They really will. So,
Gordon, I just want to finish up and tell you we've got something in from Mary. She loves your accent and she wants you to know that she's 59 now and she's going to be sexy next year.
oh, sexy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Remember?
Mary, but you see, there's a lovely memory. That was 2 years ago at the Congress in Arizona, and I announced that I was going to be sexy in July, or I had been sexy in July. And I did say 60, but my accent actually made it sound, well, anyway, I mean, I think me being sexy, my God, you'd all need to be on drugs or some hallucinogenic. But however, that I may not be, but the one thing I can be is a vessel for the spirit world, and that excites me more than anything, and it gives me greater pleasure to share that with you guys any day of the week that I can. So I love working for you.
This was amazing, and I am so excited that everyone was able to hear these messages that you had for Nan and Jeff, as well as for Ish and Sabina, and I hope I get validation stories from them. But I also just want to say that all the information that you gave us this evening is so helpful and healing for the holidays. And I am so appreciative of you and of Jackie. And we always ask everyone to unmute. If you all would like to unmute and just
Yeah.
say thank you and good evening,
Yeah.
that would be wonderful. Would you guys?
Thank you, Gordon.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Gordon.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Gordon.
Thank you, Gordon.
Well, Merry
Thank you,
Christmas,
Gordon.
everybody.
Merry
Merry
Christmas,
Christmas.
Gordon
Merry
and
Christmas.
Elizabeth and everyone.
And
Take
thank
care.
you, Lisa, too. And
Bye,
thanks.
Lisa.
Thank you, Jackie.
Pleasure.
Thanks,
Bye.
Jackie.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Jackie,
Bye.
bye,
Bye.
Gordon.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. This will be posted really soon. Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye now.
Thanks, Elizabeth.